Like
He's so skilled. Yeah, he's very modest. Hello. Thank you for joining us this evening. I'm Sue, and this is Fireside Chat, and I'd like to welcome my very honored guest, Xavier Scott. How are you doing, Xavier?
I am doing pretty good. How are you
Awesome.
today?
I'm doing great, thank
Yeah.
you. I just want to talk a little bit about who you are and how you've come to this place in your career. It's really awesome. Financial services industry was always a desired career choice for Xavier Scott, but he did not enter into the role right away. He first started his career in the mortgage interest industry as an underwriter. After 3 years, he decided to follow his passion to pursue a career in financial services. Mortgage is also stressful, isn't it?
Oh my
It's very
goodness.
time.
It is so stressful.
Ooh. When he entered his first year at Northwood University, he began pursuing his interest in finance. As a student, Xavier was deeply involved in the Educational Success Program, which promoted academic success, involvement, and community outreach among certain students at Northwood University. There, he served as a co-director, where he focused on event planning, mentorship, creating successful habits for incoming freshmen. In 2016, Xavier graduated with a bachelor's in business administration with a focus on finance. And in 2018, he graduated with a master in business administration with a focus on management. Although his main desire in school was finance, Xavier's favorite class was economics, which intrigued him in learning more about the financial services industry. In economics, he learned the importance of supply and demand and how money flows through our economic system. During this time, he realized he was passionate about utilizing financial strategies. In 2022, Xavier entered the financial services industry. He is currently life and health licensed in 13 states. He has established a wide variety of specialties in the industry, such as planning for life and disability insurance. One of Xavier's most significant accomplishments was placing over $100 million in life insurance death benefits in his first 24 months in the industry. An astounding achievement. He continues to work towards reaching and surpassing this goal as he grows in this career. Xavier's greatest desire is to work to change the way individuals look at wealth in his community. He would like to be a professional resource for all things business and finance related amongst those around him. His dream is to change the trajectory of his own family's generational wealth. Yes. So that he can be a virtuous provider for his family and their families thereafter. Xavier grew up on the east side of Detroit. He is a single child from a single mother. Observing his mother at a young age, he knew what hard work looked like, which encouraged Xavier to become a workhorse just like his mother. In 2018, while finishing his master's program, Xavier's mother passed away from lupus. I'm so sorry.
Appreciate it.
It left a devastating impact on his family, both emotionally and financially, and he works hard to make sure others do not have the same experience and are more prepared for the unexpected. Xavier works with clients of all ages, financial knowledge, and backgrounds. Though many of his clients are young families and newlyweds, he enjoys planning for those who want generational wealth for their families, just like he does. Xavier appreciates learning more about clients with similar values and motives, knowing that he can create a unique financial proposal for anyone he encounters. What an incredible life. You're amazing. So nice to know you. I'm so pleased that
I woke up like this. I'm trying to tell you.
You're also very modest. But yeah, I'm very happy to know, like those particular points I find interesting because, nothing like being in the same situation. Really, like, it's very deep with your mom, right? It goes very deep.
Yeah.
This is who you are.
100%. I mean, just in that situation, she had lupus when she turned 19. She was
Oh
diagnosed
my
with it.
God.
So, yeah, so she was actually really young when she had me. So she was 17 when she had
Right.
me,
Right.
was diagnosed at 19, and she passed away when she was 42.
Oh my God.
So she was a warrior, though, man. When I say she got up every single day, went to work, and I know that she just was not feeling it that day, but still got up and did it anyways. I mean, I have no excuse. I mean, if she
Right. You
if she
think
can get
about
up and do it, I mean, why can't I? But
I'm really glad that she actually could have you because
yeah,
sometimes lupus you can't have children, right?
yeah,
So I'm
right,
really happy. I mean, it's awful that she developed it, but it's such a huge blessing, and I can imagine she would never trade the experience of having you for the world
yeah. I mean,
because like it's so wonderful. It just deepens you so much to be a mother, and it's just a wonderful kind of you can understand what it's like, right? For people when
exactly.
they say it's like, oh, I don't know if I can afford life insurance. And then you think about what are they going to do if something happens?
No, seriously. And then people who say they can't afford life insurance, but it's just as expensive as a tank of gas.
Yeah,
And I'm pretty sure you spend more than $50 a month on a tank of gas.
absolutely.
Everyone has
You don't
their
think about it.
exactly. You don't even think about it, and that's what that should be. It should be a bill that you pay for and shouldn't even think about because
Right.
you have dependents around you, people who care about you, people who love you, and you don't. If something happens to you unexpected, you do not want them to have to figure out
Oh my
what's
God.
next.
Because like sometimes there is nothing, like there's nothing. And then you have to, if you're lucky enough to have a house, you have to sell your house. Like then you're like,
Exactly.
where are we going to go? And it's even more of a worry because you're already devastated. You're already like, you have to still get yourself to go to work. So imagining like what you're dealing with, the enormity of that loss.
Exactly. No, 100%. I mean, just from my experience, when I lost my mother, she didn't have life insurance. So that entire week and a half, the whole thing was let's figure out how we're gonna bury her. And
Wow.
it was just hard to really like try to focus on grieving at the same time, try to figure out what are we gonna
Right.
do for her homegoing service. We have to do something, but
Yeah.
we don't have the money to. So
And then it's sad because you feel
yeah,
like, well, this isn't, what I feel about you, mom.
exactly.
This is just what we can do right now.
Exactly. I mean, at the time, what we ended up doing, because I was literally just telling everyone, like, hey, we're going to just have to cremate her. That's what we have to do. I
Because of the
don't want to.
money,
Exactly. I
right?
don't
The
want to.
money.
And so many people were literally, this is the exact thing they were saying, no. I'm like, what? Like, no, you're not cremating her. And I'm like,
But there's no budget for,
exactly.
right?
Exactly. There was no budget. So we did not end up cremating her. What we did is we started a GoFundMe.
Thank God. I was gonna say, I
We
wonder if
started.
somebody like will start helping because
Yeah,
you
no, we
can't
started
help it.
GoFundMe, and I mean, and honestly, it was not fun. It was a little demeaning. It's a little embarrassing. I wish we would have been a lot more proactive with life insurance, but luckily, I had individuals who cared and loved me and wanted to see me get that done. So, we were able to get that done in time.
Wow.
And
Within days.
within days. No, we literally did that within a week span.
Oh my God.
And
Thank God for those people.
no, seriously,
That's like
it
incredible.
lifted a huge burden off my back just to know that hey, I have people who do care about me, who want to help me,
Right.
and we were able to bury my mother, which I was ecstatic about.
So
So
you were pretty young
mhm.
when that happened, right? You
Yeah,
were quite young, and that's. But I guess sometimes there's a reason that you get from
hmm
adversity that is no other way, and sometimes like that she's watching over you and she's so proud of you,
hmm
and it's just really hard that she's not here. But I think that like if there's wonderful things that happen in your life, like you're out and you're just enjoying a nice day and something happens like a little butterfly comes, like you never
no,
know
one
like
hundred
how
percent,
they in a sense communicate with us,
one
sort
hundred
of thing.
percent. Yeah, no,
And
seriously.
so like it's like so cool to have like to be in the moment enough to say that's interesting, there wouldn't be a
hmm
blue jay here this time of year, like I wonder what's up with that, right?
No, seriously. I mean, I had a really, really deep, special bond with my mother. I mean, I
Good.
was I was the only child.
Yes.
She didn't miss a single football game, didn't
Oh
miss a
wow.
single thing. We didn't grow up rich at all. I mean, apartment living.
But she was there for
She was
you.
there. She was there for every event, everything. Helped me with homework, literally everything. If I wanted to go for a walk, she like, all right, well,
Let's go.
I'm tired, but let's go for a walk. And that was just the type of person she
Wow.
was. And I know I made her proud. Of course I did. I mean,
Yes.
if you kind of look at my family and our trajectory, like I'm the second male in my family to graduate high school.
Oh
I'm
my
the first
goodness.
in my family to go to college, and I took it a step further and got my master's.
I'm so glad you got
So,
your master's. Yeah,
so
it's
I
amazing. Like you're a shining beacon for the ones who come after you as well,
no, I
right?
mean I set the standard.
It's true.
They have to
They
literally.
better step up, man, because
My little cousins are like, what college am I going to? Yeah, what
oh,
college
I'm
are you going
so
to?
glad to hear that. And
It's
you're encouraging them the way that she encouraged
exactly
you.
no 100%. I mean, you have to do something. You have to change
Yeah.
something. I mean,
Yeah.
I was just looking at our family and looking at our trajectory and just looking at those who came before me, and I'm just like, man, like, why didn't you do anything? Why is it on me? But now I'm just like, it's on me. I've already started it. It's no turning back at this
Yeah,
point.
and I,
So,
I think that, your momentum,
hmm
that you started doing this a couple of years ago, and then, your education is so relevant to what you do.
right.
Like understanding economics, it probably gives you a really deep perspective on what's happening in finance and what might be, 3 months from now, what kinds of things are happening. And,
Right.
like if the Fed rate is coming out, like all of those things that and that's probably no big deal to you. That's just things that you understand. But for a lot of us, we don't really understand economics. I mean, truthfully, if I can ask you a question, what is microeconomics and what is macroeconomics? I don't even know what that is.
So so microeconomics is just looking at it like, all right, say we're looking at a city,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
Looking at the structure of the city,
What it takes to run it?
exactly what it takes to run it on a financial level.
Okay.
We're looking at that on a micro level. It's a lot smaller than if we would look at the country.
And that
Okay.
would be a
Macro level.
macroeconomics.
It's literally micro, think of small, macro, think of large.
Okay.
So,
So it's pretty simple then. I
yeah.
just I thought it was some crazy, hard to understand concept. It just sounded like, because I think there's like a textbook like macroeconomics,
Yeah,
and
no,
it's right.
they try to
I was
make
like,
it
what is that?
seem they try to make it seem as if it's so difficult to understand, but no, it's literally just looking at it from the financial picture of, hey, is this on a larger scale or is this
Right.
on a smaller scale? Who does this affect? Does this affect just one state or does this affect the entire country?
Wow.
So,
I'm really glad you got your life and health insurance, because, like, some people, if they don't have insurance, how do you talk to them and kind of present, maybe as a foundation almost? How do you talk to people who don't have life insurance? Say I didn't have life insurance.
yeah, so if you don't have life insurance, I'm getting every piece of information I can out of you.
Yes.
Who do you know? Who's around you? Who are you taking care of? Who's dependent on you?
Yeah.
Do you have any debt, that you may be leaving behind
Oh, yeah.
for any siblings or, children?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know,
People don't often think of that.
exactly.
That's a good point.
Do you have, small children who you plan on, hey, I want my children to go to college one day. There's no guarantee you'll be there for college, but hey, we can guarantee that college is paid for.
Wow.
So, most times, and I use this term kind of like, but I like to scare people. Like,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
have
I
to.
understand that. I understand.
You have
Yeah.
to scare people.
I
Like,
do.
this is important. This is important. You have loved ones who care about you, who care for you, who you care for.
Yeah.
And we have to make sure we take care of it. I mean, and not even just that. It's a great tool. It's a great tool to pass down wealth.
Yeah,
We
like
don't-
it's kind of suits the purposes for a lot of people, like just how to, like, probate and all kinds of things, beneficiaries and
100%. I mean, just going through probate court alone is mind-boggling. You will not get half of what you are owed just from what your parents will be passing down. I was on a joint
that's
account.
shocking.
I was on a joint account with my mother, a joint bank account, and it had to go through probate. And I didn't even get a quarter of what was in that account.
That's so bad.
And it was a joint account.
You were already a signer.
Exactly.
I don't. Wow. So, like, how bad the rest of it can be if you don't know
Exactly.
about, like, because I didn't know that. I thought if you're both, like, named on those accounts that it's already established.
So
You
if
have every right to all of the money, not
No, no, it still went through probate. I still had to fight for it.
That's
I had to
shocking.
prove that I was her child. I had to come with, the death certificate, my birth certificate, showing that she signed it as my mother.
Oh
And
my
it was
God,
a
what a
hassle.
pain.
It
And
was a
you
pain.
had everything and you were
Exactly.
entirely,
And this is while I'm still trying to finish up my masters. I'm trying to pay rent. Like it was just
it's
so
a
much
lot.
going on,
It's a
and
lot.
man,
Yeah,
adversity. Hey, flowers can't grow unless it rains. So
that's true.
sometimes you just got to go through it.
Yeah, and I'm sure you're so glad that you got it done
Hmm.
because like you're busy with clients now and don't want to
It
have to go home and study.
no,
Like, can
it
you
seriously
imagine?
it taught me so much. Okay, it taught me to be prepared.
Okay.
Taught me to take action.
Yeah,
I was a huge procrastinator. No, take action.
take
It's
action.
time to take action. What are we waiting on? Anything can happen. I could leave here right now and
Yeah, and
something
something
bad can
could
happen.
happen. Yeah.
No, we have to take action. So it's too important to just kind of take lightly.
Yes, it is. It's because it's like if something happened, like a month from now, and your
Hmm.
friend said to you, I really should have shown up to that appointment, Xavier. I shouldn't have blown it off. I should have. And then you can't help them because that you have to have it before the loss. You have to
Hmm.
have the right.
No,
Like you
seriously,
can't.
I've had clients come back to me like we've gone through the whole process, put in applications, gotten approved, and then they completely ghost me, and then I hear from them 2 months later and say, "Hey, man, I just went to the doctor and I got this. Can we go ahead and sign the application?" And I'm like,
Oh God,
"That's off the table. It's too late.
that's not possible.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's too late."
That's too bad. And it might have been affordable. It could have been like $50 a month
No,
that they
even
wouldn't
it could
even
have been cheaper
notice.
than that. I mean, I've I've sold policies, individuals $12 a month if that's what they can afford, and they want to be able to afford something to leave behind for their family.
Wow.
Well, let's do that. Let's start with that. There's not one contract and it's the end. No, this is just the start. This is just the start. Um, so
Wow. So you suggest having a foundation,
100%.
and then yeah, try to eliminate debt while you can, right? You don't
Hmm.
want to leave that to your heirs or
You
whatever.
don't.
What else do you kind of ask about when you're on an appointment with somebody? Because those are good questions. So then do you ask them about I don't know, disability insurance? Like what else do you?
Yeah. So that's really really important as well, because we don't think about this as our greatest asset, but our number one greatest asset is our ability to make money.
Wow,
We all think it's our house, our car,
that's what everyone says.
yeah, our children. Like no,
Yeah.
our greatest asset is our ability to make money. So we must protect our greatest asset. How do we do that? We get disability insurance to protect our greatest asset. Most employers pay, about 50 to 60% of your annual income.
Mm-hmm.
If you got 50 to 60% of your annual income, could you survive?
No,
You
it
could
wouldn't be
not.
enough.
It would not be
It
enough.
wouldn't be enough because like you'd be lucky if that was rent and then let alone everything else,
Exactly. You'd be
right?
lucky to be able to eat.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
so now, we come in and we strategize around that. How can we won't be able to get you 100% of your income, but let's get about 95% of your
Oh my
income.
God, what a difference.
Exactly.
To go from
We're not
60 to
leaving
95 is
exactly. We're not
crazy.
leaving tens of thousands of dollars on the table, maybe just a couple $100.
Yeah,
We're still able to eat, still able to pay our bills. Maybe we're not able to save as much now, but we're still able to get
pretty
the job
close
done.
though.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
pretty close.
No, it's
Like,
still pretty close. Yeah.
yeah. Did you meet somebody who I guess influenced you? Do you have any mentors? Is there someone that I know your mom is a huge
Hmm.
inspiration? Was there anyone else that you met along the way that you learned from and that?
Yeah. No, it's just a numerous amount of people, but somebody who just really sticks out to me, who was just a great mentor to me, and I still talk to him to this day. Was my freshman roommate, his dad. Man,
Wow.
he is such a mentor to me, and I tell him all the time, and like literally, I literally call him like, dude, you're my white dad. Like I'm like
Yeah, exactly.
like
Yeah, you don't understand. It's like you
like
are like it for me.
no,
Like you,
seriously,
poor
he
dad, rich dad. You know that whole that.
Robert
It's like
Kiyosaki, come
that's
on
what that
now.
reminds me
No,
of because
seriously,
it's
like
like, hey son,
no,
let
they
me tell you how things work in the real world.
he seriously showed me a different side of, I come from Detroit, you
Hmm.
know, poor living.
Yeah,
We didn't
yeah,
have much. I
exactly.
I can tell you, I remember one Christmas, our Christmas tree was tape on the wall. We put green tape on the
Oh,
wall
so sad.
for it was actually the best Christmas we ever had. It was just like we had a great time. Everybody was together. We had great food.
That's wonderful.
We just had a
It,
Christmas tree
yeah,
tape on the wall.
and
So,
that's okay
but
because it isn't the tree; it's the
no,
family.
it really wasn't about the tree or anything. It
Wow,
was just about us being together, honestly, for
that's
me.
really touching.
But no, seriously, he was just one of those people who he did so much for me. Just not even on a financial level,
Hmm.
but
Hmm.
also just like mentally. Just he just used to teach me everything. He would tell me all the time, man, when you have the opportunity to give back, pay it forward
Wow,
every time. Like,
wow.
man, I just like be like, man, like I would go up to their house. They have a cottage, and I'm just like, man, this cottage is beautiful.
Yes.
Look at
Look
this.
at
I
this.
want this for myself. Want this for my family. And
Absolutely.
he would just tell me like, dude, none of this matters. None of this matters. What
Really?
matters is the people around you, what you can do with what you have. Like, and I'll just share a story with you.
Of course.
He when I was in college, I remember my sophomore year, I was maybe 7-8 grand short of
Yeah.
my college tuition. And I went to a private business school. Nobody in my family could afford it. I'm there on loans and grants and
Yeah. And
figuring out academic scholarships. I'm figuring it out. So I'm still 7-8 grand short, and I'm talking to my mom. Of course, we can't afford it, so we just figuring stuff out. So we're like, let's we called a radio host, and she like, yeah, we'll put a fundraiser together. Just write me a bio.
oh
So
my
I'm writing a bio.
goodness.
I'm writing a bio, and we're headed up. Me and my roommate headed up north to their cottage, and I'm like, "Hey man, how this sound?" I'm reading it off to him. He's like, "Oh, that sounds pretty good. What is it for?" So I tell him like, I'm short X amount of dollars. I need this so I can stay in school. And he's like, "No," you're like, "Man, that sounds real good." Da, da, da. So maybe not even 10 minutes within being up at his cottage, his dad was like, "Hey, come here." I'm like, "What's going on?" He's like, "Yeah, George, told me what was going on. Told me you were, trying to do
Just a little bit. Like,
trying to do a petition and everything." He was like, "Don't worry about it. I'll take care of it."
oh my
I'm like,
goodness.
what? I'm like,
Oh
this is like a 7-8 grand bill. He's like, "Don't worry about it. I'll take care of
what?
it." I'm like, "What are you
What a
talking
good
about?" I'm
man.
like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "Yeah, George told me, dude, you're a good kid. I want you to stay in school. All I ask is you keep your grades up and you come up to the cottage and help out."
Oh my goodness.
When I tell you I was up there
Yes.
every single weekend, what do you need, man? What we shoveling today?
Right. Do you
You want
need
me to
something painted?
you
Like,
feel
what do
me?
you need?
Man, what do you need? You want me to go drain the lake? Like, I appreciate it, man.
You
So
sure do. And you
so
never forget that.
never forget that.
Oh
And
my
and
goodness.
literally he like that was one of the first lessons he taught me was like, hey man, I don't thank me. When I was in school, someone had the opportunity to do this for me. So I'm doing this for you, and I'm gonna tell you what he told me.
Wow.
When you have the opportunity to help somebody, whether it's financially, mentally, physically,
Right.
pay it forward. So
Beautiful. That's just beautiful. He didn't ask for it back.
he didn't ask for anything, but I still go up to this. I still go up to. Was up at their cottage maybe 2 weeks ago. He don't ask me about it. He doesn't say anything about it. And he's done that 2 more times.
My goodness. He's just an angel. He
He's an
really is.
angel, man.
Angel investor.
I'm trying to tell you, and
Isn't that funny?
I'm
He's
I'm
an
telling
angel
you.
investor.
He is one of my biggest advocates, somebody I go to for advice. And I chatted up with him, and we have some really really good conversations. He's like one of those people who he's a corporate lawyer. He's actually a general counsel.
Wow. No
He's one
way.
of those people who's always he loves to hang out, and he'll
And like
party with
talk
you.
about things
Yeah,
and
but
tell stories
he'll
and
also get serious with you and just have some
oh,
really really deep conversations in it that just have you sitting there thinking like, man, where do I want to take my life? What
right
direction do I
on.
want to go in?
So
What is this really about? So,
so you being friends with his son, it changed your life because
it was a 100% 360 experience for me because personally, coming from Detroit, I went
yeah.
to King High School. That's a 100% dominant black school.
Wow.
To like, I'm coming to Midland, Michigan, and my roommate now was white.
Mm.
It was a 360, like, and me and him have a really, really funny story about it when we first met. So it was really, really fun. When we first met, we were up there for school early actually,
Good.
and he lived in Midland.
Oh,
His dad worked for Dow, so Dow Chemical, which was the big company up
they're
there in Midland.
huge.
Yeah,
Yeah,
huge company.
multinational.
So they lived in Midland, and so I was up there a few days early before school started.
Awesome.
And he texted me and was like, "Hey man, I'm your roommate. Just wanted to say hi." I'm like, "Oh yeah, man, I'm already here in Midland." He's like, "You in Midland? Well, let's go out to lunch."
Oh my God,
So
it's the best.
so his name is George. Okay, so me in my head, I've never seen George before. I'm thinking like, okay, so George could be a white guy. He
Yeah.
could be a black guy.
Yeah.
I hope he's a black
It
guy.
could be anything.
But I'm sitting
We
there,
don't
I'm
know.
like, me coming from Detroit, I'm like, I hope he's a
I
black
hope
guy.
he's a black guy because then
So,
I feel at home.
Yeah, so he texted me like I was at a hotel. He's like, "Hey, I'm here. I'm outside." So I'm like, "Okay, let me come out here and meet him." So I come outside, and literally right in front of me there was a little red car with this big black guy in it, and I was like, "Yeah, man."
Yeah.
I'm like, "Yeah."
It's him, all
so
right.
then,
Yeah.
so then out of nowhere, this big white guy gets out of the Jeep and comes over and is like, "Hey, man, I'm George." I was like,
Oh shoot.
I was like, they did not do this to me, man. They did not, man. I'm telling you, man. He's one of my best friends to this day. Seriously,
I
he
love
he just
that.
gave me a different perspective on life. When I say rich dad, poor dad, I mean
It's true,
it's
right?
just
It's true.
it's true. You just being around his dad, you just tell how much he loves his family. You could tell how much he cares for them, and
Incredible person.
just he really just an incredible
Your life
family.
is different, like because of him. and
No,
because of
seriously. I
your,
mean, an incredible family just all around. So no, I love them to
So
death.
he's been a mentor then. Yeah. So I'm glad I asked that question
Yeah, no,
because it
seriously.
really was a beautiful story actually, and I love that it's continuing to this day because
Yeah.
if you ever wanted to sit and put this on,
No,
he'd
seriously.
be so proud of you.
I will probably send him the link for this, and
Yeah,
he will probably
yeah.
laugh so
He won't
hard.
believe it.
Their
And
entire
he'll be
family
like,
will
"Oh
probably
my
laugh so
gosh."
hard.
Because he's modest, right?
Yeah.
Like he doesn't need accolades. So
Yeah, no, he
it's really
doesn't.
sweet that from the heart we appreciate him from the heart.
No,
like,
100%.
you know what I
100%.
mean? But I'm really thrilled that you found this path, and yeah, it's cool that we both have met Brian Van Riper. I love that. He's such a great guy.
No, he really
knows
is.
finance inside and out. He's probably spent his whole life. But like sales is not easy. So what was sales like the first? I mean, you're a superstar, but did you start off a superstar, or did it take a little while to ramp up to that level?
Yeah, no, it's hard. It's really, really hard.
It's hard. People
Just-
that don't do sales,
Yeah, no, it's
don't
just hard.
understand how hard it is. They
It's-
think that they're like rock stars, and
Yeah,
it's easy for him, and it's not.
No,
right?
you think that you're trying to get them to buy a product, but you're trying to get them to buy you. I'm not in the product business. I'm in the relationship business. So I'm
Very
really,
much.
really trying to, nobody cares how much you know until they know how much you care. So
Yeah.
you really have to show that. You really, really have to show that. And you have to, really, put yourself in their seat and, really explain to them why this is important, why this is beneficial.
And like today, now, like
Mhm,
it isn't
exactly.
going to be 6 months from now.
No, seriously,
We're
you don't
not
have
gonna
6 months.
Get
We're not.
together in 6 months. Like no, because what if something happens?
No, seriously, we're not promised the next 2 weeks. So
No, we're
like
not.
we have to take action today.
Yeah.
And just being in this sales road, I didn't start off like this because I just don't come from a sales background. But just that transition, you just have to find something in you.
You must have had to find something.
You have to
in you.
find something in
It's
you.
pretty deep, isn't it?
You have to find something in you that say, "Hey,
Mm-hmm.
this is what I want to do for this reason, so I'm going to stick with it, no matter what it takes."
Mm-hmm.
No matter what it takes, you have to because it's hard.
It's really hard.
It's hard. I mean,
It's a tiring, long day too, isn't it?
It's
It's not
tiring.
like 2 hours and let's go golfing. That's
no,
not
no,
sales.
not until you. I mean, you hit a certain point, then you can
Then
just
you
go.
can.
We have some advisors in the office who just go golfing for the day on a Friday, and it's okay. But when you're in that grind mode, I was literally just talking to a colleague of mine today. Tunnel vision. You have to have tunnel vision.
True.
See your goal, and you have to go and attack it. Like I literally, and I apologize to my friends, but they're experiencing it right now where I'm not answering the phone every day. I'm not texting back immediately. That's just I'm not on my phone texting and calling people. I'm on there networking. I'm on there, trying to get in front of new people. I'm trying to help people.
Yeah.
I'm trying to change lives. I'm trying to build wealth. I'm trying to, create a foundation for risk management. So if your house starts to crumble down, we know we have the foundation pieces to at
Right.
least be there to catch it.
Right.
So,
Because if you don't have it in place, then yeah, like, oh, we should have gotten together. Yeah, that after
exactly.
that last appointment.
Exactly.
But yeah, I met you at networking, so
Mm-hmm.
I know you're a master networker,
Yeah.
and it was really great. Office Evolution, they have great networkings,
Love that place. Yeah.
and so yeah, they have a euchre night coming up,
I'll
and
be there.
it's really awesome. I missed the Christmas party
I
because
missed
I
the
had to
Christmas
work.
party as
Did
well.
you miss
Yeah,
it
I
as
did.
well?
I missed it as
I was
well.
like, oh, that would have been so much fun. But yeah, Colleen's going to come on in about 2 weeks.
Oh,
and so I'm
nice.
looking forward to having her. She said, she's like, it's amazing how many people who are networking friends who've been on your show.
Yeah.
And she's like, I'm thinking I have to be on your
Exactly.
show because
No.
so many people.
She's the bridge. Her and Brian are the bridge. Office Evolution, they're the reason. Like we all even know each other, so
exactly.
they
We wouldn't
have to
have known
come
each
on.
other.
Yeah, they
I
have
would
to
have
come
never
on.
met Jack, and I would have never done this because when I met Jack, I said, I know of a studio nearby in Troy, and if you wanted to go and take a class there, then if you're a resident, one of the areas that they cover,
Right.
you can do a podcast and everything. So I think I signed us both up for like the kind of the little training that they do before you
Nice.
can, rent it or whatever. And he was like, "Oh my gosh, I have to go out of town, and I'm so sorry I can't make it." And I was like, "Well, don't worry about it. I'll go." And so he does actually do podcasts in his parents' basement. So like he's got a space.
Nice.
But I thought, well, I didn't think I was going to do anything. I was just doing that just out of kindness. I was like, here, like I'll take the class with you. And but yeah. So I did the first time I was on camera and just talked to my friend. And Chris said, like, do you want Friday nights? And I went, from now on? Like,
Right.
what?
Yeah.
He was like, yeah, you want to do a show? And I always would think to myself, oh, it'd be really fun, but what would I talk about? And I didn't realize that I can listen and learn from people. And that's entertaining because other people are learning too, right?
100%. Yeah.
So instead of just us meeting at a Starbucks and hanging out and you teaching me about, finance, like I'd rather us sit here and then you can teach everyone about finance.
Right. Put it on the platform and, reach a larger audience. 100%. Yeah. No,
Right.
I like that.
Right. And I'm glad that you feel comfortable in the studio because it is kind of it's pretty central. Like it's like Office Evolution. It's just right in the middle of Troy. It's right near the shopping.
Man, if everyone could see how it looked in here, like it's pretty cool. Like
we can take pictures. We'll
yeah,
take pictures
like
after.
it's pretty cool in here.
Have you been to her? They made like a room that's like a podcast room.
I have, yeah. I've actually
Have you
recorded
ever
in there.
done
Yeah,
something
and I've
in there?
recorded
'Cause
in
it's
there.
nice.
Yeah.
It's,
No, it really
she did a
is.
great job, and it looks like a podcast. Like it looks professional.
Yeah, no, it's not as big as this room, but it's definitely like really
It's very
professional.
nice. Like you'd be proud to
Exactly.
do a finance video or something like that, right?
No,
Like,
100%,
problem.
100%, because it's just it is really professional. They have really professional guys with
Good
Tripp and
lighting.
Damon. Yeah, no,
Yeah,
like
Tripp and Damon, man.
Yeah,
like
they-
it's so cool to have them right on the same floor.
yeah, exactly. No, they're really good at what they do. So
They really are, and they're such nice
yeah,
people.
they got to pay us for this shout out, man.
They do. I know. I know. I will have them on. We had a date that they were going to come on, and we had to reschedule. I think it was one of those crazy because if he has a closing, if Damon has a
Right.
closing or something, that comes first. It's like no,
100%.
don't worry about it. We can always reschedule.
that's where the money is. So.
That's for sure. Yeah, and I like the way Tripp does like the kind of 1-minute videos of the person sort of just talking about what they do.
Exactly. Yeah.
And at Christmas time, it was really cute because it would look like it was snowing, and then like he'd like shoot like Damon, and Damon be like looking at the snow and wonder.
I'm telling you, his production skills are amazing. He gets it done. I don't know how he does it, but he gets it done.
And he does music to it, and it's just like maybe a minute, but it's so cool. Like when that comes up on the Instagram feed,
Right.
like you always are like, oh, good, this is gonna be good. Let's
It's
see
gonna
what
be
they're
real
doing,
good.
And but Damon says things like he's like, you got to do your paperwork, and as soon as you get the paperwork, you got to do it because it drives us crazy as real estate agents to try to chase after you, like, come on, just cooperate.
That's
So
funny.
in a
Yeah, no,
way too,
seriously.
for finance professionals, you probably do things online.
Yeah,
Do you have
no.
forms and things like that are online if people want to sign up? It's pretty easy.
Yeah, no. So we have so if you just go to different websites and stuff, like they have like a leads channel. So hey, if you want a professional to reach out to you to talk about life insurance, retirement, estate
Okay.
planning, so
Any
investment
any of
planning.
those things, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, you just kind of fill it out and somebody reach out literally that same day.
Wow.
So we have a marketing team that it literally goes straight to the marketing team, and then the marketing team usually distribute.
The leads,
Yeah,
yeah.
they
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
distribute the leads out
Yeah. To
to the advisors.
people,
Yeah, so
whoever is,
yeah,
yeah.
exactly. So
Wow. So, what's your goal? What for your life? What's your goal? Have you ever thought about what? Like, I mean, the lake house sounds really good. Like, what do you
it
think? What
do
would you like to achieve?
the lake house sounds really good, and I used to be really into like I want a lake house, and then I bought a house, and I'm just like, okay, upkeep for one house is so hard. It is so
And
hard.
expensive.
Oh my
It
goodness,
can be
inexpensive.
expensive. Like
Yeah,
if the
so
roof, goes, it's like, oh God, that's thousands,
oh,
right? Like
tens of
it's
thousands, tens of thousands. So I replaced the
right.
boiler, and that was tens of thousands. So like,
Oh my
not
God,
fun. So
the boiler.
so the second house is off the table at least for right now until I can like figure that out, like how I'm gonna
Yeah.
even deal with that. But the ultimate goal for me
At least you have
is
a house.
yeah, no,
Like
it's
that to me is a big deal
no,
because
it
that's
is.
that's a dream right there. Like I can't imagine.
It really was, and I got a funny story behind that one as well, just how I got that going. But the goal ultimately is a financial freedom.
Yeah.
Um,
Where you control, do you want to work that day, not
exactly.
just
Well, financial freedom. When I say financial freedom, the way I interpret it is, it gives you choice,
yes,
options, and choice.
that's true.
You know, do
That's so true.
I want to go into the office today, or do I want to sleep a little longer?
Right.
That's financial freedom. Do
That's
I
true.
want to go to Hawaii, or do I want to go to Fiji? That's
That's
just
financial freedom.
that's financial freedom.
It's
When
never.
you can literally, if something was to happen to someone in my family and say I got the money to pay the medical bill and it's nothing to me, that's financial freedom.
That would be amazing.
So definitely the goal is financial freedom, and
Definitely.
then legacy. Legacy.
A legacy. I love
I've
that word.
I've already started something here. I
Awesome.
have to see it through. I have to
Yes.
see everyone. There is no excuse. If my mother got up every single day and I know for a fact she wasn't feeling good, but she got up and made it happen, what is my excuse? I get up every single morning at 5 o'clock and I don't go to sleep till about 1 o'clock,
What?
and
Every day?
every day. Waking up late for me is 7 o'clock.
Oh my God.
I'm not
That's
even playing.
sleeping in.
That's sleeping in for me. I'm not even playing.
Oh my God.
Once I'm up and I'm
You are
gone.
just an absolute machine. That's
I
unbelievable.
like I'm not even like I would call my fiance right now. She would tell you like I be trying to
You're
get him to
serious.
I'm trying to get him to chill out, but I'm like it's go time. It's
No,
just
but yeah.
I'm just so tunnel vision right now. Like I don't even need an alarm clock to wake me up in the morning. I'm
That's
up.
amazing.
I'm up. And I
So
gotta
she must be very proud of you.
now she is. Yeah,
Yeah.
we've been together for a while now. We met in college. We
Oh,
didn't go
that's
Yeah,
awesome.
we didn't go to the same college, but we did meet in college. We're 9 years in now.
That's
But
amazing.
we met pretty young, so
I'm glad she's your fiance.
yeah, no, yeah,
Congratulations.
I
That's
appreciate
wonderful.
that.
And I'm so
Appreciate
glad
that.
you found her because
Yeah.
you don't want to go through your whole life. Then when you're like 82, you find like this
No,
person.
seriously.
Like it's just so nice
Seriously.
to have a life with the person.
And we've been through, so much together. I was, when me and her first got together, her mom passed away, and
Oh
then
my
a few years later
goodness.
my mom passed away. So we've been through it with each other. We like, we got each other's backs. Everyone thinks that we are just the perfect couple, don't argue, but we have disagreements. We just know how to communicate. What we try to do is not go to sleep angry.
That's lovely.
And we know how to communicate. It's not easiest thing to do, but we just get it done, and once it's
Yes.
over, we just kind of let it be over. So
I think not too long ago, I don't know if it was Jay Shetty or someone, that they said something like, it isn't you and them and you're talking about a problem between you. It's you and them looking at a problem.
yeah,
And I think, wow, that's
yeah, that was pretty deep.
such a
Yeah,
good thing to keep in mind because a lot of things, it's about maybe the workload or, oh gosh, the washer's not working, whatever. Like it's a
Mhm.
problem, but both of you are united looking at the problem. Like,
Yeah.
I like that. I like that whole shift because it becomes a whole different thing. Like, you
Mhm.
don't have to fight with this person.
No.
You're both on the same side,
Yeah, I
right?
mean, you're just trying to get to the goal of, hey, let's like not be arguing anymore.
Yeah.
What is the actual
What
problem?
is the actual
Let's
problem?
just fix the problem. And
Exactly.
that's just gonna
Exactly.
come with time and communication. Sometimes you might have to separate. Like there's
Mm-hmm.
plenty of times where we just say, you know what, we're not getting anywhere in this argument. Let's just separate
Mm-hmm.
and then come back later.
And come back later.
And you know, in
Yeah.
all honesty, like I can't speak for what she's doing at that time when we said it, but I am really sitting there thinking about like, what did I do wrong?
Right.
Where did I go wrong?
Right.
Where can I have gone better? And usually always leads to me apologizing first, even
She
sometimes when I
appreciates
don't.
that
Yeah,
because
even
you're not a like what's the word? You're not like a very ego person. You're not. You're really humble.
well, I mean, I try to be. I mean, I'm not. I don't like. I'm not in a position to not be humble. Like, I mean, I've done nothing, up to this point. Trust me. I've done
No.
nothing up until this point. Like, there's so much more to come, and so that's just who I am. I'm not
Do you
looking
ever go
down on
to
anybody.
conferences? Like, is there like I don't know, like conventions or so?
Yeah.
Is there things that like kind of a bigger scale? And then if you do go somewhere like that, do you kind of come away motivated? Do you guys have anything
100%.
like that you
Yeah.
kind of like a
Nah.
big kind of like not a convention, but you know what I mean? Like,
So I actually just went to a conference this past Tuesday. It was
all
the
right, all right.
National Black Supplier Conference,
That's
hosted
awesome.
by Stellantis, the
Oh,
Chrysler company.
yeah,
Yeah.
wow.
So it was actually really, really
That's
cool.
really
No, it
good.
was really, really cool. It was actually, no, we were in a room full of, black professionals, really all business owners and CEOs. It was
Oh
100%
my
free, hosted by
goodness.
Stellantis. They served us breakfast, lunch. We got to network.
Wow.
We had a lot of CEOs there, just from
My
all
goodness.
over Michigan, some in Chicago, some from California.
Wow.
And what they did was they had a few speakers come up. It was at the Detroit Athletic Club, so we had the president of the Detroit Athletic Club there.
I've heard it's
Um,
nice.
oh, it is
It's like wow,
beautiful. It
right?
is
Oh
beautiful.
my God.
We had the Detroit Chamber of Commerce in there,
Wow.
giving some great speeches. And then they had a panel of just presenters come up. It was
Uh-huh.
CEOs, and they're just basically presenting their companies. And we got to choose, who was the best company, and it was really really
That's
cool. Like
cool.
it was like 5 minute pitches, and people had presentations and audio backdrops. It was really really cool
Wow.
to I got to connect with a lot of those CEOs, and then also just getting to see CEOs work.
That's
It
amazing.
was crazy. It was
I
like,
love that they're black CEOs because we need like so
no,
much more
seriously,
representation, don't we?
we need more.
Seriously.
Just those leaders in our community. We need more of those in hindsight. You don't see many black
I'm
CEOs,
just so
black
happy to hear this.
founders.
So I'm so happy to hear
So
this. And how amazing, like this
it
month,
was.
February,
No,
to
really,
celebrate,
really, it
right?
was.
That's
It was an
wonderful.
amazing event, and it was the 37th annual event, and then
Wow.
I was just surprised that I'm like, dude, this was free. I would pay
You
for
can
this.
imagine
Like,
like $250
no,
because
seriously.
the caliber of speakers
Mm-hmm.
and the networking opportunities
Yeah.
is worth money.
No, 100%. 100%. So, I've already started to reach out to a lot of those
I'm
connections.
so glad.
I'm like, hey, you're a
This is
CEO.
awesome.
Can I take you out for coffee, pick your brain, do anything. So I've already started that. And, I'm expecting great things to come out of those
Yeah,
meetings, whether if
that's
it's not
amazing.
some business or,
Yeah.
a resource that we can be for them, then
Friendships,
some
like
good knowledge, good referral.
mentoring,
Exactly.
like it's an honor, isn't it? Like to
Mm-hmm.
be in that room. And
No,
I'm
real
so
100.
glad that you were able to go,
Mm-hmm.
because it's just right here in our city. Like you don't have to like travel and stay in a hotel, and
Mm-hmm.
right?
No, seriously, yeah, it was wonderful. I had a great time.
That's amazing.
Mhm.
I know. Have you ever kind of thought about maybe, I don't know, speaking? Have you ever thought about doing that?
So I took a speaking class in college, and so I've
So you're
thought
pretty
about it before.
comfortable then?
I'm pretty
Yeah,
comfortable.
you're pretty
I do some
comfortable.
good exercises before I come in front of a crowd. So I'm pretty comfortable speaking, but I've always kind of liked it. Um, I I wasn't a class clown in high school, but I kept people laughing. So
That's awesome. That's
so
awesome.
yeah, so I've always been comfortable in front of people.
That's awesome. Because, I mean, it might come about that you
Yeah,
might
no,
be asked to be a speaker or, and you
I'm
kind of
ready
want to
at all
be like,
times.
I'm glad. I'm
I'm ready.
so glad to
I
hear
keep a
that.
speech on me. I'm just like I'm ready to
So
go.
glad to hear that.
Yeah.
That makes me happy because, I think you're ready. I mean, you're
Hmm.
absolutely ready to present to CEOs but it's kind of nice though because you can kind of listen and learn, and then if they kind of tell you things, hey, this is what really helped me, and then they might, hey, like, hey, what do you do, right? And
You're
then so
right.
you never know. Like
Exactly.
it's good to
Exactly.
even go, hey, listen, just could I have an hour and you can tell me about, like what you want to tell me about,
Hmm.
and then if they are kind and generous, they might, allow you to have a few minutes of,
Right.
time to promote what you do.
Hmm.
But yeah, it's exciting for the young ones coming up behind us, like your nephews and nieces, and the choices that they have. What you
Hmm.
say, Xavier, there's so much of choice, like
Hmm.
for them, and it's you kind of want to keep them on a nice, good, road, and
Right.
not be distracted by things that don't really matter, like followers or whatever, like things like that. Like
Hmm.
it's kind of hard to keep them focused, I think,
Yeah. No,
because
it
they
is.
can be anything, right?
Especially with the social media today.
Ooh,
Like you can
man.
literally post one thing on social media, go viral, and now you're a sensation to hit.
Right.
You're rich. It's like, and it's really, really like I would give the advice my mama gave me. So growing up, our decisions have consequences, whether it's a
Yes.
good decision or a bad decision. Something will come after it.
Very well said.
You
Yeah.
have to make, and she would tell me all the time, wise, sound decisions. For a long time, I had no idea what that meant till I got to college, and then I start like you just start noticing little things like, okay,
Hmm.
instead of doing this, I did this, and now this is the consequence. That was the decision I made. Instead of going
Yeah.
to study, I went to go party,
Yeah.
and I got an F on the test.
Oh no.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh
So
no.
now that
Oh
was just the
no.
decision I made. So we got to make better decisions. You have to make wise, sound decisions. Think about what you're doing. Is this going to benefit me
True.
or is this going to hurt me? You have to make a wise, sound decision. Think about what you're doing before you do it. And I do that a lot with everything that I'm doing these days. Will this benefit me? It won't.
And
Well,
what's it going to be like? How's it perceived? So you're
exactly.
not just doing something, you're kind of like looking around a corner that you
Hmm.
haven't even gotten to the intersection
Yep.
yet,
You have to
but you're
see.
trying to say this could lead to this,
No,
kind of
seriously.
thing.
You have to see what others are not seeing and kind of factor in that as well. Like it,
Mm.
like if I go drive in the snow and I'm just like, hey, I'm just driving around just to drive around, and now I go do donuts in the snow, get into an accident, like you have to you got to think about that. Like that wasn't a good decision to
No,
do.
not at all.
Wasn't
And
a
it's
good
like,
decision.
geez, I could have stayed home and been warm, but no, I had to go
Yeah,
out and
exactly.
do
Now I got a
donuts.
huge problem on my hand. I got to figure out how to get this car out the snow, how to get it towed somewhere. Now I got to figure out, how I'm gonna get around
How am I
now.
get to work? And oh
Yeah,
my
so
God.
you got to think about your decisions. Make wise, sound decisions.
Hmm.
And
Has there
yeah.
been, are there people like maybe that you've read their books or that you've watched, video, like people who are in the field, like
Hmm.
like I remember reading Warren Buffett beating the street, and like, people like that you kind of look up to. And is there any books or any kind of somebody who's like a speaker or?
Yeah. So, and this is funny because when I bought my house,
Hmm.
so a good friend of mine, he's a loan officer. His name's Tim Sandridge. I
Hey,
need,
Tim.
yeah,
Hey,
I
Tim.
need to get paid for that, Tim. So,
That's
so,
right.
so, yeah. So Tim Sanders. So when I was I remember when he first got relicensed in the mortgage industry, he
Hmm.
she just threw in a group chat like, hey, y'all know anybody trying to buy a house? Let me know. Jokingly, I was just like, hey, I'm trying to buy a house just as a joke. Like I'm like, I can't afford a house. I don't know what it takes to
Oh my
get
God.
about. So he was like, dude, let's run your credit and just see. And I'm like, bro, I can't afford a house. He's like, let's just run your credit and see. So he ran the credit. I got approved. And he was like, dude, you got approved for a house.
Oh my God.
He was like, bro, go start looking for a house. And I was just like,
You must
what?
have been in in shock.
I was
Like a
dude,
whole,
I'm like, no, I cannot afford a
that
house.
is an identity shift.
I'm like, dude, I cannot afford a house. He's like, no, man, like you don't know what you can afford. Just go look for a house and
Wow.
let me worry about the rest. So I'm like, all right. So he's like, my dad is a real estate agent.
Perfect.
Exactly. So I worked with the Sanders team.
Mm.
His dad was a real estate agent, and his dad actually wrote a book. It's called Breaking the Chains of Poverty.
Wow. That's powerful.
It is a powerful, powerful book.
Wow.
I mean, it leads into what I've already talked about, that tunnel vision.
Right.
Just
That's exactly what we're talking about.
exactly, really just blocking out that noise and achieving your goals. Getting rid of that debt. Starting businesses. Using having God
Yes.
in the beginning of everything.
Yes.
Let Him lead your way. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Breaking those chains of poverty. Seriously, because
Wow.
it was a powerful book. I keep it by my nightstand and go
I'm
reference
so
it.
glad.
I go reference it every once in a while and just read like a Bible verse. You just kind
Yeah,
of go back
yeah.
and read it.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, it was a really really powerful book. The Sanders team took care of me all around
So
through.
how did you find your house?
So man, it was so funny. This was around the time of COVID too.
Wow.
So everything
That's a
was
hard time
no,
to
it,
find,
it
like,
was a hard time. So it took us months to find it. We live in Detroit, just around like in the Bagley area of Wyoming and 6 Mile.
Okay.
And it's a beautiful house, man. I love it. Like I don't know about everybody else,
And
but I
it's
love
yours?
it. 100% is
What
mine.
a great feeling
It
to
came
come
with
home to it.
so the house that was next door to it was knocked down, and so the last owners bought that lot. So I got a house plus a
Wow,
lot.
that's perfect.
Yeah,
That
so
is just perfect. Oh my God.
they got the previous owners redid a couple things, like they redid the kitchen entirely.
Wow.
The living room.
That's really good. I'm sure your fiance's
Yeah,
like, thank
no,
God,
they
because that's a lot of work.
redid both the bathrooms. So
Awesome.
I got a bathroom in the basement.
Awesome.
With a beautiful walk-in shower, 2 shower heads.
Wow.
It has a urinal in there, so
That's incredible.
that was
They
definitely
really, like, went
yeah,
to
that was the
all
man
the
cave.
way.
Yeah, that was
to
the man cave.
Totally.
Um,
That's amazing.
no, it was really good. Like all the rooms upstairs have ceiling fans. Like it's a really really
Oh,
cool
I love
house.
things like that. Yeah.
yeah, we
It's
got
funny, isn't it? I always like, because you never know when you need, it could be like wintertime, but you're kind of like, okay, you're cold and you first get in bed, but after a little while, you're kind of kicking off covers, and it'd be nice to have that consistent.
especially when you got somebody sleeping
like a
next to you.
breeze.
It's just like that
Yeah.
body heat is just like, all right,
exactly.
we need something
It's just,
going.
you really
yeah.
need that. Just a little kind of a breeze.
Exactly, 100%. It's a little something.
That's something.
So,
Oh my gosh, that's so amazing. I'm so glad you found that house when you were kind of just ready, because you probably didn't know you were ready.
I didn't, and I didn't know that, but it honestly just took me just saying, hey, like just playing around, like, yeah, I do it, and then just asking questions afterwards, because literally, like my man Tim, he took care of me. Like he was just like, hey man, just start saving. And I'm like, dude, I don't have any money for a house. He's like, that's okay, just start saving now. We gonna figure it out. We gonna get the closing costs down as much as we can. Just start saving now. And I'm telling you, he would call me like, all right, how much you got saved? And I'm like, bro, I ain't got nothing saved. Like,
Not much there.
He was like, all right, well, keep saving and keep looking for a house. I'm like, all right. Literally the day of closing, he called me like, bro, you got the money? I'm like, yeah, I got the money. Man. What you talking about? I'm like, of course I got the money. It was just a little bit over 10 grand too, and it was just like that was our closing costs. And he was like, he was literally, when I came to the signing, he was just looking at me like, bro, I did not know you was gonna like, dude. I was like, I told you I was gonna get it done.
But you did, yeah, because you're like, this is a deadline.
Yeah, this is the deadline.
I have to
just got
this
it done
much by this date. Oh my God.
So yeah,
but he
pulled
sounds
it
like
off.
a fun guy. You have good friends. You really have
really,
good friends.
really do. He's a good friend of mine. I talk to him on a daily basis. We collab a lot. And he's one of those hard workers like me. Just one of those people I clicked with just because I know his work ethic. I know what he'll do for, if I send you a client, I know what he's going to do.
He's going to take care of them.
He's going to take care of them.
You do not have to worry.
He's really good at, with first time home buyers and getting grants, and he's going to take care of them.
Can I talk to him?
No, seriously.
Because I'd love to.
No, seriously. He works with, all clients, and he going to work with you.
You don't have to have like money. You could just be.
No, seriously, he's gonna work with you where you are. If
Awesome.
he can get you a grant, he will. If he can't, he gonna explain to you like, all right, we need to bring this to the closing table by this day. Can we get that done?
Right.
Like
that would
yes,
just be
no.
such a dream.
Exactly.
I understand. Like it's kind of like it's such an overarching goal. Like I feel like I wouldn't want to die and not have a house. Like I just feel
Yeah,
like that's something I really want to do in this life, and if I don't, if I'm just renting forever, I just feel like it's kind of a waste. You know what I
it
mean? Just to
is.
rent
It is.
for your
It
whole
is.
life.
I mean, it's benefits to renting,
Yeah.
but I think it's a lot more benefits when you own.
Hmm.
Hey, you just get to call it yours. You're building some type of equity within the property,
Right.
and you can kind of use that as collateral
Oh,
in
that's
other
true.
places.
Yeah, you can get a home equity line of
Yeah,
credit and things like that,
exactly.
right?
People over your house, you don't like them, you put them out. They can't say nothing to you because it's my
It's
house. You
your
know what I'm saying? So no, it's a lot of benefits to having a house,
Wow.
and
It's something you never regret because
you don't.
yeah, it's kind of
Like this is my first home, and like me and my fiance talk about it all the time. Like I don't like this house is it's not great, but we will never sell that house. We will never
aw,
sell that house. Like that was our first home. We keeping it forever, and we're gonna
that's
build it
awesome.
up. Maybe rent it out
You could
someday.
rent it out.
Maybe rent it
You
out
don't have
someday.
to give it
You
up.
know, no,
Yeah.
seriously. Like
You
we're
may
gonna keep
not
that
have
house.
to.
We're gonna keep that house for a long time, just because it's in a beautiful neighborhood. The property values around are all coming up. It's a good thing, but also those taxes go up too, so they gonna get you either way. So
I know. I know. Ouch. Right?
yeah,
Oh
no,
God. But is your fiance? Does she work?
yeah. So she is a school psychologist. She
That's an
has her.
amazing job.
Yeah, no, she
Wow.
she went to Central Michigan, has her bachelor's in psychology, and also
My
has a master's in
goodness.
psychology. So
Wow.
we
Yeah.
set the
Like,
bar high in that
yeah,
house.
I'm telling
Yeah.
you, man. Like,
We set it too high. Yeah.
your kids be like,
Right. No, do I really have
Dad.
to go? Yes. You have to go. Imperative that you go.
You know what you could do? You could put your diplomas on the
Mm-hmm.
wall and you don't have to say anything.
Right.
But it's like the bachelor's and the master's,
Put
like
it in
just
their
have
room.
them up and
Yeah.
they'll see it every day and
No,
they'll be like, it'll be like a very soft expectation, but you won't have to say
yeah,
anything.
no, I mean I have both of my diplomas hanging up in my
Awesome.
office at home. So
Awesome.
like they're in
That's
there.
great.
Yeah. You
So
gonna
you're
see them
already.
you gonna see them when you come in there. So can't
But
miss it.
I'm so glad that you did all that like already
Mm-hmm.
because then you can focus on, your work and building because it's like, it's a constant like, you know what I mean? Like you have to post and you have to like go to
Mm-hmm.
meetings and go to networkings and it's kind of like you're always in a sense on, you kind of are
Yeah.
always on.
Always, yeah.
So, but I'm glad that at least you have someone to relax with at the end of the day. That's
Yeah.
really nice.
Yeah, that's my baby, man.
Yeah, I'm so glad. I'm
Yeah.
glad you met her young because it's like nice, like you can
Yeah.
have your lives together,
Yeah, 100%.
But I'm really glad. If you, so what kinds of things do you do? Like, if I needed help, like, even if I didn't have a lot of money,
Mm-hmm.
I can make an appointment with you.
Yeah.
And then we would kind of like, I could bring documents and I could say, this is what, these are things I have, or if I
Mm-hmm.
have debt or whatever. Like, and then would you kind of like analyze it?
Yeah, no, we just have a full out conversation. The more I know, the more I can be able to help you.
True.
So,
Yeah.
bring it all to the table. Let's talk
Right.
about your debt.
Student loans, whatever. Bring
Exactly.
it all.
Assets, how much you're making, how much is going out, how much is in expenses, where we spending our discretionary dollars,
Right.
and where can we spend them to put ourselves in a better position.
And fold in maybe life insurance.
Life insurance, disability insurance, we create budgets. If you want to have a conversation around investment planning, estate planning, retirement planning, we have all those conversations. We just help our clients be in a better position financially.
Right.
I have a team full of advisors with 20 plus years experience who, have experience planning and strategizing for our clients to be in those better positions.
Okay.
So,
That's perfect. So people can, I'm going to go, let the,
yeah.
this is how people can reach you. So
Yep.
Xavier Scott, Scott at financialguide.com.
Yep.
And if you have any questions, if you want to, have him come for a consultation, that doesn't cost anything for you to meet them the first time.
Doesn't cost anything
And
to
he'd be
come
happy
have a
to-
conversation.
Right, just to have a conversation, just to see, kind of what kinds of things, and that way, if Xavier says, I need you to get this or whatever, you can go home, get the things, and then you can
Exactly.
have a sit down.
100%. And then, just before the time runs, I just do want to say, hey,
Yes.
we do specialize in, gift of a lifetime, which is just, planning around life insurance for minors as well, getting them started as early as
That's awesome.
it's 15 days born.
Oh my
And then
God.
we also specialize in, coverage and, just planning around, with children with disabilities. It's really hard
That's
to,
lovely.
it's really hard to get coverage and just kind of strategize around them. So we specialize in strategizing and planning with, families with children who have disabilities. So,
Wow.
yeah.
That's like really precious
No,
because
that's
and that's a need.
important. That's
That's a
100%
it
important.
really.
The scariest thing you can do is leave a child behind with a disability, and we don't know what's going to happen with that child afterwards.
Oh my
So
God.
we want to take
Because
care of
it's
that.
a worry, right?
Yeah, 100%,
Oh
100%.
my goodness. I'm so glad that you had time to come and
Yeah,
visit me. Thank you for
I
being on my
appreciate you having
show.
me.
And yeah, it's really wonderful. And I'm glad that we have your information up. And yeah, like it's a pleasure to meet you and to know you.
Yeah,
And I think you're doing amazing work. I think you're doing God's work.
I appreciate
Yeah.
that. I
God
appreciate
bless
it.
you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
God bless you as well.
I hit my little.
Perfect.